So guys, I just wanted to go over a few things that I learned through trial and error that might improve the system for your benefit depending on its application. Again, this might not be for everyone's system, but in my case, I did have to change a few things to improve the overall efficiency. So to cut to the chase, this pump did not work for my application. Due to the length of tubing and the overall distance, I did need to upgrade. When considering the location of your pump, I would recommend, if you're going to use something this size or smaller, it should be on the same level as your aquarium. As you can see, with the length of tubing that I used, with the additional 20-foot section that I added, the length was way too much for the pump to handle. So I did have to go back to Harbor Freight, and I went ahead and purchased this Drummond 1 horsepower non-submersible. It's a sprinkler pump, and gallons per hour is 1075. It will fit the 3/4 inch garden hose thread, and it has a 70 psi maximum head lift. This is a very powerful pump, and with that being said, I would definitely use Teflon tape on all your connections. I would also recommend a shutoff valve of some sort to prevent any backfeeding, as the system will be pressurized and gravity fed. Be certain to make sure all connections are tight. On the output, I used my standard Python system, and on the input, I used a regular garden hose. With the system modified and in place, let's go ahead and try it out during a water change. In my discus tank, we're doing 50% water changes about every week. So we went ahead and drained the tank downstairs near the 55-gallon drum. In this tank, I maintain a temperature of 86 degrees, as this is best for my discus. About a day before the water change, I plugged the heater in, which was set to 86 degrees as well. I also used a cheap Christmas light transponder to be able to function the pump on and off. I switched my hose valve over to the open position, and now I'm ready to add water. Using that handy remote, I was able to press the button and allow water to flow freely. What I like about this system is, obviously, it eliminates the buckets, and it allows you to add water without completely disrupting the interior of your tank. With using the 1 horsepower pump, I found that this water pressure was very similar to that of my tap water. The system has allowed me to cut my time in half doing water changes. In addition to the convenience factor, utilizing this water staging system has allowed the chlorination to evaporate on its own after several days. Obviously, with larger quantities of water, this may take up to 1 day or several days for the chlorine to evaporate. Also, this allowed me to plug my heater in a day or two prior to acclimate the water to a similar temperature which my fish are used to. Upon completing the water change, I returned to the basement, and the tank was about halfway filled. With the water change complete, I unplugged the heater and the transponder and refilled the tank for the next water change in about a week. So guys, I hope you learned something from the video, and let me know if you have any questions. As always, I'll see you next time.